Hey everybody, and welcome to the next map that I'm going to play, which is Tokania, which was a map I recommended in the comments down below, so thank you very much for that. This is a more old school map. You can see it's actually pretty wide, not a whole lot of spawn points. And we definitely have an XL amount, and probably even more, in terms of the amount of units. Very interesting premise in that, it's gonna sound weird, but the initial feeling I get with this is a very prehistoric feeling, an ancient feeling. You have, of course, a lot of assets from Naboo, from the Naboo grass fields, but you put them in this like large-scale canyon, creating a really unique vibe. It's a little ominous, even. It's going to be a little bit interesting to see how unique some of these spawn points are. Here we go. Here we got a little bit of different assets to give some distinction. We actually saw that there were some speeder bikes. It might be that this map is mainly infantry focused. I do see some that are probably from a TX-130. There we go, yeah, okay. We have proper vehicles here. It's gonna be interesting to see if the AI is able to maneuver through all the objectives or objects and assets. To me, they seem wide enough. You can actually see that one glitched a little bit. Very cool. Many of you know that I'm a big fan of large-scale battles. This one is a bit more traditional. Recently, we of course have done the awesome trench maps. The scale alone is really cool here, where you can just see like a ton of vehicles. Oh god, waiting to be maneuvered into position by those who want to try them. Just a ton happening, a lot of units.
The Republic can't spare any more reinforcements.
I'm also, in a way, and this is quite rare, happy that they didn't mix the environment too much, because for the same like little effort, they could, for example, add ruins from Yavin 4, and I really don't think that it would fit in this scenario. It needs to feel a little bit more primal, a little bit more natural. It's almost like that canyon scene, or the gorge scene in The Lion King. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Like, where are all the wildebeests? Where's Simba?
Post under Republic control. Hostile reinforcements are being depleted.
5. So it does go for the traditional spawn points. And so the spawn point location are also very well done, with one spawn point near each starter area, and then the one in the middle. Again, very traditional. I think I actually saw a skeleton there, even more acknowledging the fact that it feels very prehistoric. Very cool skins too. Yeah, here we go. This is very, very cool. Quite similar. There's actually a little bit of symmetry going on. That spawn point is very similar in terms of the assets that are used to spawn point 3, which is not a bad thing at all. Cool thing too is speeder bikes are definitely a welcome addition, but you will die very fast. But what I was about to say is they're not actually powerful to the point where you could quickly get to a spawn point and overtake it, because the sheer amount of units that are available makes it to where the speeder bikes don't become too OP. you know, aside from the fact that you will actually die very quickly on the speeder bike because they're so fragile, if you manage to get to a spawn point, chances are that the amount of units waiting for you at that spawn point are so many that you will die very quickly. Another Mace Windu, huh? We'll wait. It's great for snipers too. Again, a lot of cover. Visually, it's very pleasant, which is quite an achievement too, because it's not the most bright map there is. I am a fan of those bright, vibrant maps, but there's just a lot going on. Visually, it's quite spectacular. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, help me, Lord. Kind of want to see if we can get into a vehicle here. There's just a speeder bike. Alright. Look how fragile that is. I just bump it, and I lose over half the armor. Very well playable with AI. Again, there is enough space to where they can actually handle vehicles.
A command post is now under hostile control. Our reinforcements are being depleted.
You can see that there's a shift in there between that the enemies are taking back the command post, so there is actually some challenge to the map, which is good. And it is another evidence that you don't need a ton of spawn points to make a battle interesting. Positioning in that sense is way more important. Doesn't mean that using a lot of spawn points is bad either. You know, the trench maps do a very good job at, you know, proving that. But sometimes less is more, and this map definitely shows that by having carefully placed spawn locations. Now maybe they could have, for example, like added a few more things here, maybe a turret or whatever, but maybe you don't even need that, because the pure function of this spawn point is to get a little bit of an advantage over the other team. Let's actually do a Mace Windu maybe. I actually want to capture this, but it doesn't seem like it will let me. A lot of units are defending though, maybe a little bit more than I would like, but with the huge amount of units that are available, it's not that much of a bad thing. There's still a big battle happening. We've actually seen in other maps like Crate, where there's a lot of maps or units on the map initially, and then as the battle progresses, a lot of the units get stuck at the trenches, and slowly over time, the amount of units actually participating in the battle deplete, and that really hurts the map. And I don't think that's the case here. None of them are stuck. Some of them are just defending. And I still feel that the battle is as epic and as pretty much heavy-handed as it was at the start.
We've got droids.
We do indeed got droids. And Mace Windu's dead. It's cool too. The use of hero units is not OP at all. Sometimes, mostly in the smaller maps, you have a chance of the hero units actually being too overpowered if they can traverse an area too quickly or turn the tide too easily, and that's not the case here. They're super fragile in that sense with the amount of units they have to face. So very, very cool. It actually comes some strategy in handling a hero unit, because instead of using it maybe as a tank unit to capture a point, you maybe will use it more as a support unit, which is very, very cool to see. You know, it could do devastating damage, so you do that and you have it maybe more in the back to use like force powers, maybe a lightsaber throw, and then quickly get out of dodge if it gets too hot. But you have, of course, you know, keep the pressure on. because there's only a time limit on how long you can handle it. So now the amount of units that are on both sides on the battlefield is actually depleted under what they started at. So the droids are actually pushing us quite hard now. Maceman, why not? Why not?
Window. Ready for action.
Check your fire! You got a clear shot. Take out that tank.
There we go. Oh.
The Force is with us today.
Indeed. Another AAT, huh? Wow, that was a cool attack I did there. You can also definitely see that the amount of units that you actually start with is excellent for the size of the map. With the, you know, less amount of units now available, it becomes painfully clear that not a lot is happening here. They have to kill 4 more of us. This is always that stage as like searching for a needle in a haystack. I usually never criticize a map for this because that's just the nature of it. Where you need to clear every unit in the bigger maps. You know, AI can just be finicky on where they are.
Gained a command post. Our reinforcements are being depleted. Another command post for the Republic.
Doing good damage though, if I do say so myself. Alright guys, that is it. You can download this map in the description down below. Don't forget to let me know any recommendations or requests of maps or mods you want to see. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.